Hi everyone. Yeah, I uploaded 2 videos in a week. Crazy, right? Probably not gonna happen again for a while, but I apologize for the inconsistency, but life can get in the way of this project sometimes. But this is very much something I've been wanting to make a video on. But let me explain. Back in late May, early June, around the time of U.S. Nationals, I asked quite a few swimmers that at least have some understanding of the sport of swimming and the times and what they thought was the one event in swimming currently that has stalled, as in the times have not really gotten that much faster. And believe it or not, it's not the men's 800 freestyle, nor the men's 200 backstroke, or even the men's 50 freestyle. And no, it's not the women's 200 fly. Summer McIntosh just went 201, and there's a bunch of swimmers currently going 205. Nope, it's probably not what you would probably expect, honestly. But it's the women's 100 breaststroke. And we need to go back 8 years for us to understand what happened. In 2017, at the World Aquatic Championships, 2016 Olympic gold medalist Lily King won the 100 breast in that race and broke the 4-year-old world record set by Ruta Meliatide. She took that record from 104.35 down to 104.13. The day before this race in the semifinals, Yulia Yefimova swam the second fastest time in history, at the time being 1/100th of a second off the previous world record in the semis. These two swimmers were the only two swimmers that year to break 105, and of that, only 4 swimmers were 105.0. But what followed has now become somewhat of a disturbing pattern. 2018 rolls around, and Lily King swims the top time of the year in 105.3. Okay, non-world championship year, Pam Pax isn't at much pressure, I guess, to go after a sub 105 world record. Fair enough. And that year, only 3 swimmers broke 106. 2019, we have Gwangju Worlds, and Lily King does break 105 again, going 104.93, but now only 2 swimmers have gone under 106 that year. That's a little concerning, I'm not going to lie, especially to the buildup of an Olympic year, or so we thought. 2020 happens, and we're going to skip to 2021 because that's where we actually saw some major movement in 100 breaststroke in terms of depth. It's 2021, and it's now an Olympic year. Things look like they're finally starting to look up for the women's 100 breast. At U.S. Olympic trials, Lily King goes her fastest time since breaking the world record in 104.72. This would end up being the fastest time in the world that year, because even though at the Olympics we saw 2 other athletes break the 105 barrier, no one else would even challenge the world record, as rising star Lydia Jacoby at the time from Alaska won gold in 104.95, breaking the 17-18 national age group record. But for the first time, when we look at the depth of this event, the women's 100 breast had seen quite a bit of movement. 3 swimmers broke 105 that year, and 10 broke 106. Maybe this momentum could be carried through. Well, sort of. 2022, we get to Budapest Worlds, and this is a very fast pool. And what's the result of this? Well, good depth, as we saw some swimmers break 105, but not a single swimmer broke 105 that year, as the top time of the year was 105.19 by Japanese swimmer Runa Aoki at her national meet in Japan. The winning time at Worlds was only a 105.93, very slow, one of the slowest times in the last decade. What about 2023? Well, a year out from the Paris Olympics, many were starting to make their names heard, and for Fukuoka Worlds, we were in for quite a bit of a treat, actually. Former world record holder Ruta Meliatide was making a huge comeback and was one of only 3 swimmers in 2023 to break the 105 barrier. Her and Lily King were really fast, both under 104.8, and Ruta went the fastest time in the world, 104.62, a half second off the world record, 3/10 off her personal best, and that ended up being the top time of 2023. Again, the depth was looking good. 10 swimmers in the 100 breast on the women's side broke 1 minute and 6 seconds. In 2024, for the first time since 2017, we saw what was probably the biggest push for someone to break the world record, as the next rising star from China, Tang Qiangqing, swims a monster 104.39 at the Chinese Olympic trials to come within 26/100ths of Lily King's world record, and was the 4th fastest swim of all time. So, does Tom back this performance up in Paris and even break the world record? No. To both of those things, in fact, Tong swims a full second slower than her trials time in the Olympic final to win silver behind Tatiana Smith, formerly Tatiana Schoonmaker, who won gold in 105.28. Still a big accomplishment, not to diminish the work for the result. That being said, no one in the Olympics even broke 105. Maybe it was due to the slow pool, which had been going around circles for quite some time leading up to the Olympics and during. And maybe this could be attributed to that, but there's also potentially another factor. This brings us to now, August 2025, where the World Junior Championships just concluded, and going on, we saw the World Championships bring a good race in the women's 100 breast, but yet no one broke 105 again. Actually, as of this video, the top time in the world is currently 105.19 by Anna Elent of Germany, who won gold at Worlds with that time. The fastest active swimmer now, Tong, is currently sitting at 4th in the world rankings this year. That being said, the season isn't over yet, and this time for Tong might be a bit misleading. Usually, Chinese athletes will prioritize the national games going on from November 9th to 21st of this year. So the stat has yet to be fully seen. Maybe she could challenge the world record this year, but so far I've not seen anything convincing that the world record will fall by the end of 2025. When we go through the list of the past 8 seasons, there's this constant where, other than 2019 and 2024, if there is at least one swimmer to break 105, then we are more likely to see multiple swimmers break that barrier. But why are we seeing this stagnation in the event at the high end? Well, if you look at the breakdown of splits, most swimmers swimming the 100 breast for the woman really have a strong back half, but their front half is not as strong. The reason for this is closing speed in this race is important, but for those who have gone sub 105 for the most part, and the record swims, if you want to stand out and challenge, you need to be able to go out very fast, sub 30 to be exact. The first 50, which very few of the top women can actually do, if you want to break the world record, you have to be out in 29.99 or faster and still be able to close in 34 low. Again, very few swimmers can actually go out slower and be able to close hard enough that they can swim that fast of a time. The only way this works is if you know your back half, and no matter how slow that front end is, you 100% with confidence need to know that you can come back that fast. With Lily King's retirement this year, I can see 4 swimmers who could be in the running to challenge that 100 breast world record. This year's world champ, Anna Elent, on Germany's medley relay, she actually split a 104.9, which is pretty good. The other one is Kate Douglas. She finished second to the German in 105.27 in the individual, but what really stuck out to me was her insanely fast breast split on the 400 medley relay that broke the world record, splitting 104.27. That is a top 5 all-time split. That was on that world record that was set again in 3:49.34. The next name is British swimmer Angrid Evans, who won a PB of 105.37 earlier this year at the British trials, and just thought she could be a threat, but I'd pick any of the other 3 names on this list over her to do it as of now. The fastest active swimmer of the 4, Tong, even though she hasn't done a whole lot in 2025, is still pretty young and can legitimately challenge the world record if she can find another year on the front end without dying. Ultimately, this isn't an easy conversation to have, but the discussion around this event is necessary if we want to see improvement in the event. It has been several years since we saw a swimmer even split 103, and that happened only once back in 2018 from Russian swimmer Yefimova. As the saying goes, one day this record will fall, but the immediate future, that is at least the next 6 to 12 months, I just can't see that happening. Unless there is a shocker later this year from Tong or anyone else. But it would be nice to finally see it happen, but as of August of 2025, no one has even broken 105.00 this year, and it has now been over 16 months since the swimmer has swum a 104 anything individually. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you.